You are a wonderful person. You do your best at work, contribute in wonderful ways to your family, and serve faithfully in your callings. You are talented and can do anything you put your mind to. And yet, you stink at visiting teaching. Don't take it too hard. You try. It just seems to be one of the constants in the church. You even really do like the girls that you visit teach. They're just not someone that's constantly on your mind. Here at Ringminder, we've spent hours agonizing over what's broken here. We hear the talks, we get pumped up, but we just can't seem to get it done. Which is why I've decided that I have had enough. I'm in the same boat as you. I've done it all, including the cookie drop on the last day of the month, or the drop-in unannounced, where all of a sudden you hear the TV click off, the lights turn off, and then pretending like they're not home. I even had the awkward experience of getting a text that said, "Hey, the sister you visit is in the hospital. Would you mind checking up on her?" Realizing I didn't even have her number yet. But I've taken a pledge and made a vow that I, Sister Godfrey, will no longer be a stinky visiting teacher. I'm not only going to get out each month to visit my sisters, but I will be a force for good in their lives and help them know how much they are loved. So my next problem was this. I had made that promise to myself probably a dozen times before. And a dozen times before, I had made maybe 1 or 2 successful months before falling back into my stinky ways. This time, to make things different, I made a plan. You see, sometimes a commitment, even to yourself, isn't strong enough. Even a strong spiritual experience may not be enough to keep you motivated if you don't have the knowledge or good habits to stay consistent. This is true because service in the church requires 3 parts. It requires a willing heart that is converted to the concept, knowledge of what you have to do, and actual action on your part. If visiting teaching is not happening, it's because these 3 parts aren't working together. We will talk about how to get these parts aligned at a later time, but for now, let's focus on the action. The hardest part is getting started. There are at least 8 barriers we here at Ringminder have identified to not doing our visiting teaching. These are the excuses we've heard or given time and time again as we strategically dodge our visiting teaching supervisor at the end of the month. You know who you are. I won't be able to cover all the barriers here, but they are all covered in the complete Ringminder Visiting Teaching Guide to Not Stinking Toolkit, which I will talk about soon. Barrier 1. I lost my assignment. Oh, the dreaded paper. It's so slim, so small, and so easy to misplace. I'm convinced that if it is not committed to memory in 2 minutes, it vaporizes into thin air. Here's the foolproof way to make sure you are able to keep your paper when you need it. Right when you receive it, take out your handheld device. Close out of Instagram and Candy Crush. Now, snap a picture of the assignment. Now you have all the info you need in one place that you are less likely to lose, your phone or tablet. Barrier 2. I don't know who my companion is. Again, this is a quick and easy fix. Right when you get your assignment handed to you, speak up and say, "I don't think I know who my visiting teaching companion is. Could you introduce us?" Or if you're getting it handed to you in a binder or something, grab a member of the Relief Society presidency and ask them to point her out. And guarantee whoever is handing you that assignment will be more than happy to introduce you. If your companion is not there that day, immediately send them a text and say, "Hi, I'm Sister Godfrey, and I just found out that I am your new visiting teaching companion. I wanted to see what your schedule is like and when would be best for us to plan visits." Make meeting your companion and swapping schedules your first priority when getting a new assignment, even a higher priority than your family's for now. Barrier 3. I don't know my sisters. I actually think the first month of a new assignment is the easiest month to visit teach. Here's how it's worked for me. First, you bake or buy a delicious bribe like cookies, a cake, or a pie. Attach a spiritual thought. Grab your companion and schedule 2 consecutive nights you can go visiting so you can be sure to see both of your sisters and not miss them one night. Stop by and knock on the door. The family answers the door and sees the offering, immediately starting things off on the right foot. Introduce yourselves as her visiting teacher and say that you are so excited to meet her and serve her. Ask her questions about her family. Some great questions include, how many children do you have? What are their names? Even though the paper gives you this information, these introductions are a great way to get to know the kids. What do you do for work, and what are the hours like there? Which is a great, informal way to get an idea of their schedule. What is your favorite family activity to do together, and what your calling is? Tell them you have a very short spiritual thought that you'd love to leave with them. This conversation can be done either on the porch or in the home. Now this next part is crucial and will make your life as a visiting teacher so much easier. Right when you finish your meeting with them for the first time, I want you to schedule your next appointment right then and let them know that if at any point that time won't work out for them, that they can call and reschedule, no problem. Otherwise, they can plan on seeing you the next month. Let them know you're more than willing to send a reminder text the day before, just to double check that plans haven't changed. So why does this matter? Well, we have a theory. The hardest part of visiting teaching is not the appointment. It's not even the service. The hardest part of visiting teaching is setting up the appointment. I don't know why it is so intimidating, but we put it off day after day, week after week, until it reaches the last Sunday of the month. At that point, we are forced to eye our families like a lion observing its prey during sacrament, immediately ready to pounce after the closing prayer. We ask if we can stop by that afternoon and get the hesitant, "Sure," which is a yes, but has the underlying, "I guess I can skip my nap and we can go to Mother's an hour later for dinner tonight" tone behind it. And it makes it all the more awkward and terrible when trying to set up visiting teaching for the next month. And so, we resort to drop-ins. And suddenly we aren't a blessing to our families. We are a burden. And they know it, and we know it, and bada bing, bada bang, we're back to being stinky visiting teachers. And how is this swirling vortex of stench avoided? By taking 3 seconds to set up the next appointment at your current appointment. So, back to the appointment. The final step before you leave is to let the family know that although you are looking forward to visiting them in their home once a month, you are their visiting teacher for the entire month, and that if they ever need you for anything, to not hesitate to call. Give them a card with you and your companion's number on it and bid them a good night. We've even included a free cutesy printable that you can print out and add you and your companion's names to. This can be stuck on their fridge, then they will always know who they can turn to for a helping hand. There. You are now on your way to becoming a world-class visiting teacher. Of course, you are not home free yet. There are still at least 5 barriers that are preventing you from being the best visiting teacher you can be. Barriers like hard-to-reach families, what to do when your companions or your families and your schedules don't match up. The locked door. No matter what you do, you can't seem to get in. The report. You have a hard time getting the results to your district leader. The lesson. By simply reading from the ensign just isn't going to cut it. And the marathon, why you are having a hard time staying consistent month after month. And remember this, maybe it's not the actions that need fixing, maybe it's the heart or the lack of knowledge. How can you fix this? These and many more helpful topics are covered in the Ringminder for Mormons, Visiting Teaching Guide to Not Stinking Toolkit. This toolkit is delivered in a series of 4 emails that are totally free to you, but only for the month of March. So that you can get the most out of your emails and actually apply the principles, only one is delivered per week for 4 weeks. These 4 emails include a helpful video chock full of how to be a world-class visiting teacher. They also include printouts and other useful tools such as the Schedulizer 3000, a one-sheet form that has a way to organize your schedule with your companion and your families all in one convenient space, and cute handouts that you can bring to your ladies. Trust me, those emails have some great content and you don't want to miss them. And that's it. I hate spam as much as you do, so I'm not going to load your inbox several times a week with subject lines like "can't miss offers" and "last chance." Just remember this is totally free to you. I just want to help you stop the guilt, stop the procrastination, and of course, stop the stinkiness of your visiting teaching. This toolkit, very appropriately, will be offered the first of the month on March 2nd, 2015.